Hari Om Swamiji. So actually, we all students had got a plant for you, but the staff here at, this is her house, Swati's house. They were so excited that you were coming, that they decorated the front door, and then they sat and made this garland, which they made with their own hands. So now we have the garland and the plant for you, and they were really happy to make this for you. So, yeah, so Anaita is welcoming you with the garland, and now Aisha will give you the plant that we had got for you.
The
Original plant, but then. So, respected and beloved Swamiji, we are blessed to have you grace our class on Teachers' Day. To quote Gurudev, no education is a waste, no bit of knowledge redundant, no experience superfluous, but they can all be intelligently made to serve our purpose in our pilgrimage to truth. We are deeply grateful for your guidance and inspiration on our spiritual journey. Your wisdom, compassion, and warm approach have been a beacon of light, illuminating our path and encouraging us to stay true to our values and principles. Your friendly and approachable nature has made your teaching accessible and relatable, touching our hearts and minds. Though on a lighter note, I've been studying for 10 years and we are still stuck at the basic questions. We had a lot of questions, but due to the time constraint, we finally settled on these 3 questions. How do you age gracefully in keeping with your spiritual growth? How do we overcome fear using our spiritual teaching? How do we overcome dependency and become detached? We seek your continued blessings and guidance as we navigate our spiritual growth, and we are thankful for the opportunity to learn from your selflessness and devotion. So now we will start with the invocation. We will be chanting Om 3 times, followed by Sanavavtu. After that, the 5 shlokas of Guru Stotram, and then followed by Tvameva Mata.
What we do in class.
Yeah.
सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः चिन्मयं व्यापि यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव
ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Nice to know you have been studying for 10 years. And congratulations to her to keep you all inspired.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
Without her, we couldn't have been going. We also have, she's just studying to be a Sevika.
Very good.
Oh,
Well done.
Yeah.
Best wishes. Start off. You are starting with somebody pairing up with you, a new class?
No. Jilina ji gave a class.
Okay. Oh, you already started, no?
I've just started.
Yes.
The night on the group, remember?
Yes. Correct.
Swamiji was, why don't you join her, never join the group?
Huh.
Now you're finally on the same touch.
She is now going to be added after some time,
No,
is it? She is
she
added
added
now,
her.
right? Finally. Very
Because
good.
there were too many queries coming up on new classes, so
That's
then
why.
she's there on the group.
Nice. That's the best way to grow actually. Once you start a class, the clarity increases exponentially. So many doubts that would not have even struck us sometimes. When we take a class, members will ask, and then we are able to reflect more. Maximum what will happen, you don't know the answer. You can say, I will ask Aditi ji and come back. Simple. She will help you out. So, 3 topics. Your Devi group is a unique one. You have 3 topics, which is good. And as she said, many questions were there and you have zeroed in on 3. So questions are good in that sense that you are thinking, so questions arise. But I hope you also find answers to those and keep moving deeper. Otherwise, some people are in love with the question. They don't, even if they know the answer, they don't want to move ahead from that question. They keep asking that same question to different people or same question at different times. So our first question is how to age gracefully, keeping our spiritual knowledge in mind. Okay. So first and foremost is to accept that age has caught up, which we learn in Vedanta every time, that everything is changing, momentary. To accept the age gracefully is the first aspect, because many people don't want to accept. They will keep saying 60 is the new 40, 70 is the new 50. 60 is 60, that's all. 70 is 70. 50 is 50. It's a new 40. Exactly, it's just a number. And anyway, what are we learning? I am not the body. तो फर्क क्या पड़ रहा है? If we learn from Vedanta standpoint, we take care of the body. Body is a tool for sadhana. Whatever I have to do for it, I will do for it. But I am not the body. So how can age define me? Vedanta tells us very clearly. Like we have every other equipment, we have a body also. So okay, the age of this body is whatever it is, 50, 60. Who is young and who is old? We associate old age with, so youth is associated with dynamism and energy and success and achievement and love and relationships and all that. And then old age is associated with disease, pain, illness, loneliness, fear. So many of these. For a Vedantic student, it is just one more transition. We learn in Tattva Bodh. What do we learn? Body goes through 6 modifications. It is conceived, then it is born, then it grows, then it changes. So that 4th modification is this, it changes. Then it slowly starts declining and then it will drop. So who has aged actually? That's another question that one has to ask. Body has aged. That is the swabhava of the body, it will age. As a Jiva, what is my age? Beginningless. How many bodies I have taken? Hundreds of bodies, thousands of bodies in different species. And as Brahman, I am birthless, changeless, deathless. So I have to use the body to realize that truth. Between a Vedantic student who is aging and another student who is aging, what will be the difference? Any other person who is aging. The difference will be this: Vedantic student knows the big picture. What is the big picture? I am Brahman. And I have come here in this form to realize that truth, that my nature is infinite consciousness, Sachidananda is my Swarup. I am at the moment playing some roles, but the reality is something else. So roles I play to the best of my abilities. So if that picture is very clear, I don't define myself as the body. It is one equipment I have to realize the absolute truth. In that, the temperament of the mind is most important. Body is only one external manifestation. That's why it's called gross body, Sthul Sharir. Sukshma Sharir is the mind. That mind and its qualities, its nature, purity, single pointedness, that is the most important aspect. So through my life, how many years I have lived, what did I learn out of this? How did my mind become more purer? What is the single pointedness that I have developed? What are the experiences of life, and have I mellowed down in life as we go along? When we are young, our mind is very idealistic also, and this way we'll do, that we will do, and sometimes it is, very impractical also, and sometimes ego is also very high. Life teaches its own ways, and so in time, have I mellowed down? Have I become more flexible? So aging gracefully happens when I become more flexible with life. This is Vedantic understanding. Sometimes we see in other situations where people don't have background of Vedanta, what can happen? One becomes more rigid because a certain belief pattern one carries on and one has become fixated in that. Now, and that's why we have conflicts between the next generation or the younger generation and the present. Conflict keeps happening, the elder and the younger generation. Why? Because they want to do in a certain way, we have our own way, then we are rigid in that, now then there is a conflict. So in time, have I become more flexible, more equanimous? Aging gracefully, equanimity and their inner strength increases. Why? Because the big picture is clear. Again and again it will come to the big picture. When we are young, sometimes we don't know the big picture, and sometimes even if we know, we are more concerned with the immediate result. What is happening now? My job, my family, my career, my promotion, whatever, those will take up my time and attention much more, and sometimes that bigger picture is forgotten. But when we have understood that, then we come back to that. There is no more, ego games become lesser. If I have a Vedantic understanding, I don't want to play ego games. I don't want to have this control and I am controlling this and you are under my control and you listen to what I say, and all that one drops. Because if I am a seeker of freedom, and when we study Vedanta, we come to also understand that if each of us is actually seeking the same thing, just that some know it and they see consciously in the right place, in the right way. Some don't know it. Otherwise, all of us are seeking what? Fundamentally, what are the things that we do? What are two things that we are seeking? Happiness and
Peace.
happiness and peace, they are one only.
Just did it in class. Start of Tattva revision started. What are the
Two fundamental.
No.
Vivek Vairagya is the preparation, qualification.
This is the Swamiji's question. He just did. That's the best part.
Most
Seeking the truth.
He's seeking
seeking the truth, agreed, but there is Little more elaboration required of that. Seeker is seeking the truth, no doubt, but we are saying everybody is actually seeking the same thing, knowingly or unknowingly. Seeker knows it, so I am saying
The reality.
reality, truth, seeker is seeking, but apparently others are not seeking that. No, my question is, what is that? What are the two things which everybody is seeking? In and through my work, my success, family.
Permanent happiness.
That is the first one, permanent happiness, correct.
Moksha.
Little different. So permanent happiness, unchanging, moksha, peace, all that means the same. The other side of the same coin.
Accepting change.
No. No, don't worry. Sometimes it doesn't come, that's all. It's all been known.
Swami in class also it happens. Aditi asks a question. I know it's such a then after 5 years when she waits and then she says, so each one's minding, oh yeah, I know this, but
Yeah, it happens. Sachidanand is same, permanent happiness. एक कॉइन का दो साइड होता है, एक साइड आपने बता दिया, दूसरा साइड द क्लू इज इन दैट. एक साइड हेड से तो एक साइड टेल से, एक साइड हैप्पीनेस है तो दूसरी साइड क्या होगा?
It is not के साथ.
not unhappiness.
नॉट अनहैप्पीनेस. वो अदर साइड कैसे होगा?
Freedom from sorrow.
हाँ, फाइनली permanent happiness and complete cessation of sorrow, not only temporary freedom from sorrow. So in Vedanta what we say, param ananda prapti and atyantika dukkha nivritti. Freedom from sorrow once and for all and complete happiness. We all seek that. If that is clear, then what is the obstruction in that? That can't be created. It is already my nature. Permanent is something which is there even right now. It can't be created. So if it is there right now, then it's only that I am not experiencing it. So there is some covering. So ignorance, attachments, ego, all that is a covering. So Gurudev used to say, God plus man is equal to, God plus ego is equal to man. ये इक्वेशन को बदल के बताओ, what is God then? God plus ego is equal to man. Then God is equal to?
Man minus.
Man minus ego.
बस हो गया काम. Man minus ego is God. So our whole journey is towards egolessness. That's the first understanding Vedanta should bring. I am here for dropping my ego. I am not here to boost my ego. So as one ages, the graceful aging is when one has mellowed down, ego becomes lesser and lesser, craving for self-importance, recognition reduces. One is more at peace, filled with gratitude. How much gratitude is there in my heart? That's another thing to think about. One has lived, how many ever years one has lived, so many experiences one has gone through, one has exhausted a lot of karmic accumulations that we have. So when we understand all that, for all, both positives, negatives, many things would have happened in life. I feel grateful that I got this opportunity, and as a human being, I was able to exhaust so much of my karma. And in that process, I learned, I loved, I shared, and I continue to do that. So if the heart is filled with gratitude, one will not see only what is not there. Because otherwise the mind always is expert in seeing that which is lacking. So one doesn't operate out of fullness, one operates out of emptiness, lacking. So when we say this, suppose this glass, now there is water up to here. So if suppose this was a thing made from glass and you were able to see water, what would you say? This glass has half empty. So sometimes one says half empty, half full. But I would say it is completely full. Because half with water, half with air. So it's a perspective. Now what we have. Vedanta says our nature is Purnatvam. And nothing can make us Purna. By adding anything, I am not going to become Purna. And by subtracting anything, I am not going to become Apurna. Purnamada Purnamidam is actually the highest truth. What does that Purnamada Purnamidam tell us? It tells us that that is Purnam, this world also is Purnam. From that Purnam, this Purnam has appeared. And from this Purnam, if you remove that Purnam, Purnam alone remains. There is nothing which is lacking or less. But when we chant Purnamada Purnamidam, our mind goes to Prasadam. Means class is over, ab khana milega. Purnamada Purnamidam is actually telling us you are Purna. Otherwise one can think of it in some objective way saying, Acha, something was Purnam and this is Purnam and from that Purnam this Purnam has come, from that Purnam this Purnam is removed, that Purnam alone remains. Haan, hoga kuch. It is saying our nature is Purnata. How much one can operate out of abundance, fullness. This is all we learn in Vedanta today. Which has been the timeless wisdom. Today people are saying that don't think you don't have it. You feel that you already have it and you will manifest it. This is the science of manifestation. Mind does not know what is the difference between inside and outside. If you imagine that you already have it, you are living it, you are enjoying it, you will achieve it. So operate out of the abundance of mind. What is that? Abundance mindset, fullness mindset. Which is what Vedanta has been saying, and which is okay in a different way. It has come out in the world with law of attraction, manifestation. Okay. Whichever way somebody is living Vedantic knowledge is fine, and manifest whatever you want. So as we age, this operation out of fullness becomes more, and one is happy with oneself. See these things. No, otherwise loneliness is something which today one of the biggest epidemics is. Loneliness. As a Vedantic student, I learned to overcome that loneliness. Because the fact is, there is nothing called loneliness. It is our mental creation. At one level, yes, one feels, okay, there is nobody with me, one needs some company, one feels that, somebody to share, etc. Sometimes it is natural, necessary. But as we go deeper into it, think about it. How am I lonely? Right now, even if none of you are here, are there not so many other beings who are here? Swamiji, who is here? Are there ghosts here? I am not saying that this plant is there or not. They all are beings only. And the whole world is filled with so many beings. And what does Vedanta teach us? Vedanta tells us that all of us are connected. We are one. There is no difference at any level. At gross body level, all our bodies are connected. It is made up of same 5 elements. Subtle body level, all our minds are connected. That's what we call as Hiranyagarbha, the total mind. So what one thinks, one influences the entire world, sitting where one is. One doesn't have to go anywhere. Today we know that very easily through Reiki and pranic healing and so many, sitting in different parts of the country, people are sending healing to all. No? So how am I alone? No, somebody is not there here. That is attachment that I have there. Loneliness, I don't have to. If I think I am lonely, then I am lonely. If I think that no, I am one in this whole world, there are so many jivas who are there. I can communicate, I can talk, I can express, I can share love, I can do many things. So one comes out of that state of loneliness, because all this is the deeper understanding of Vedanta. When we see there is oneness, where we see there is fullness, we see there is selflessness, bas, life is happy. One may learn many other things also. So as one grows, there is nothing that prevents us from learning. And Vedantic student always keeps learning. Sometimes what happens with age, we feel, हमको सब पता है, we have seen through, अभी क्या सीखेंगे, क्या करेंगे. But today people are saying so clearly that so many of these brain degeneration diseases that are there, Alzheimer's and dementia and all of these, why do they come? Because we are not using the brain. Brain is also a muscle. It has to be used, it has to be exercised.
So social media is making it so easy to not use your brain.
Exactly. Passively one is getting so addicted to it.
Memory and all, we don't use it because it's all there.
Correct. Now, how many phone numbers do we remember now? Think about it. Earlier, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, we would remember so many. Now we don't remember because we are not using. And now there is no need to even know language, no need to know grammar. Basic things also AI is there to compose an email. You put something and it will word it nicely and give it to you.
That family just write, please, this is, please file it. In offices, people are doing that.
Yeah. So computer becomes smarter and smarter and humans are becoming dumber and dumber. They are making computers have emotions. Other day robot committed suicide. Yeah. Yeah, you go and do research. I'm not joking. A robot committed suicide because that robot felt now I'm being overworked. I don't like this. So that robot triggered itself and it fell down. Yeah. I said I don't like this. Because they have started building in that emotional capability. Na? So now that robot is very dangerous. Suppose a robot doesn't like its boss, ek chamat maar dega to. But that's what is the danger part. It is scary.
Yeah, I was just going to say that there's a movie on this where the robot has got, they put emotionalism in the robot. Like, Kriti Sanon and that.
Oh, that Kriti Sanon only is the robot in that.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
अरे शादी कर लिया उसके साथ
Yeah, that's what.
रोबोट के
No,
साथ.
but even in the chat GPT, like if I type something which is goes by mistake, but it's in WhatsApp, so sometimes you not name हटाया नहीं और वो गलती से send हो जाता है, then the poor thing will write me a full message. So now when I'm also free, so one day I also sent, by mistake I sent it, blah blah blah. उसका फिर आया, it's so sweet of you that you apologize and I really like it. So we had a nice chat going.
Siri.
No, chat GPT also.
Chat GPT.
I mean, if you actually go by that, Alexa, Siri, all these, so many people where they feel lonely, they are chatting. Because they feel कोई तो है हमारे साथ व्यवहार कर रहा है.
Because even I was having a full conversation with it. And I was just doing it for fun, but
People who are friendly with the phone and they're alone in the house means they're just sitting, the phone is there in their
Yeah,
hand
yeah.
and their
Then
mouth
they're-
is shut.
Correct.
So
that is the social media.
People say if you don't like your own company,
Why
who will
inflict
like
it on
yours?
others?
Yeah.
Correct. Gurudev used to say that if you can't enjoy your own company, why inflict it on others?
Yeah.
मुझे इतना loneliness क्यों हो रहा है अगर इतना ये chat GPT आ गया ये आ गया, but still you
Because human connection is when you genuinely connect out of love, compassion, and you have somebody to understand you, you are able to share, you feel there's a bond. Communication technology may have increased, but selfishness has also increased equally, no? The loneliness is because of selfishness. Tolerance has become lesser. And how much we have kept ourselves in the shell in the name of it's me, my life, my rules. Earlier, the neighbors used to come together, meet together, go to each other's houses. Now we don't even know who is a neighbor. And people keep saying, no, interference. Arre, what interference? Basic space is becoming lesser and lesser. And then loneliness is going to increase. Even in a home, people are not talking to each other. They are sending messages to each other, sitting in the same house, from one room to the other.
on the dining table.
Oh, dining table, dekho.
One room to the other to still.
Face to face, one is not sitting and talking. Then what is so then loneliness is going to increase. Now, as a student of Vedanta, then I must understand that fact that how much ever technology may increase, finally at some level we are human beings and we need certain basic ways to bond, to connect.
Is this also cyclical? So हम जैसे अपने में बोलते हैं प्रलय भी आएगा, ये भी आएगा, the whole destruction happens. So is this cyclical that every कल्प में, every युग में the destruction of the brain happened and the mind happened. And
So that is cyclical only. So when we say Satyug, say hum Kali Yug mein aaye hain, what has happened? The capacities of the mind have become lesser and lesser and lesser. Grossness has increased more, subtlety has reduced. Forget from Satyug onwards. From in your life, you would have seen 30 years ago how much we were using our brains and our potential and how much we are using now. It has become so much more grosser, right? So that cyclical it will be, but the time periods of the cyclical nature in creation are very huge. Our life is so small, it doesn't even, and that's why we have to be very alert. That how I keep myself focused, more alert. I can use technology, but let not technology become my escape route. Let not technology alienate me. Let not technology make me more selfish. That
Use it as a crutch.
it is the tool to get a few things done. And consciously we can avoid certain things also. No? Like nowadays people, what they will do? They will sit in the car and drive some 3 kilometers, go to the gym, jog there for half an hour, sit in the car and come back. क्या मतलब हुआ अभी? Earlier we used to go and do whatever, walking and shopping and go to the market, go here, go there, everywhere. Now, age-wise, suppose one feels that is something difficult, I am not as active as before, but I am saying there is a chance, no? Lift is there, we don't use a lift, we go up by staircase. So technology may be there. It is our choice how much I want to use and how much I don't want to use. At the physical level, one of the very important things to do as we grow is to do strength training. Very, very important. There is no substitute for that. General thinking of the people is as we become old, then kitna exercise karenge, kya hoga, life becomes more sedentary. But it is exact opposite. One will die faster if one doesn't do the strength training. And that samskar is not there in our mind. So a Vedantic student is ready to adapt. Once I understand, oh, this is the truth. Who is a seeker of Vedanta? Vedanta is a student is a seeker of truth. And truth is not only absolute truth. Truth is at every level. What is the truth? If I come face to face with the truth, I am ready to face and seek and then follow it. So the truth is the body needs exercise and muscles definitely. And I must do that strength training at least 2 or 3 times a week.
But Swamiji, so there are, sorry, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
There are 50% of the population at their age, they don't think this way. But compared to people who are actually doing training and exercising and all, they are much better in their old age. So that means that it's their karma that they're doing well, or I don't know.
See, the point is, so you are saying those 50% who are not doing, they are still doing better.
Yeah.
Now, there is something that your body also has, no? The reserve energy is there, the body's reserves are there, so you are going on that reserve. But when that is getting over, at a point in time, the depletion happens very fast. And muscle loss, etc. is very, you can't build muscle so fast. But muscle loss will happen if one doesn't pay that much training and attention to it, then muscle loss will happen. Then the deterioration happens quick, point 1. Point 2, the idea is also what? My quality of life will definitely be better. My, whatever the diabetes and insulin and so many other sleep, many factors are connected. Health, immunity, everything is all connected to that. Now, it is not that I am doing exercise, so my life should be more better and ये exercise नहीं कर रहा है, इसको तो तकलीफ होनी चाहिए, क्यों नहीं हो रही इसको तकलीफ? वैसे तो anyway our bhavana is not there. But that person's quality of life could have been much more better. Now that person is depriving oneself of that, no? And more important from Vedantic standpoint is the mindset. Tamas is not something that the Vedantic student has to encourage, because tamas is what is the main cause of our suffering, ignorance. I must gain the knowledge, and gaining knowledge I must apply it. And this mindset of not exercising, it is encouraging a certain level of tamas in the mind. Unless somebody has some physical challenge and not able to, that's a different point. But otherwise, Just like food is required for the body, breathing is required for the body, sleep is required for the body, strength training is required for the body. Now, today with awareness, we have to follow that and we have to share that with others. One of the biggest causes of death and suffering in old age is what, Because people take care of heart, people take care of their diabetes, people take care of many of those, but they don't do strength training. So, one of the biggest challenges is mobility as well as brittle. The bones become brittle and muscle loss happens. So, a person loses balance. The research what has shown is what a lot of people suffer in old age because they fall down. Once they fall, some hip breaks, some fracture, bapre, terrific. Now, one of the reasons for that will be muscle. And so, as I grow, I must fight out this mindset of tamoguna, of sedentariness, especially if it is set in the life from beginning. I fight it even today because we are not wired to think strength training is important. In childhood, till I joined Vedant course, I had a very active life. All sports we have played, badminton and cricket and basketball and volleyball and massive. Went on very nice, 21 years. Then 21 joined Vedant course. Sedentary life it became. 2 years Vedant course. Now and then sometimes they would allow us to play volleyball, but otherwise nothing. You are not this body. Brahman alone is the reality. Why are you doing this? You have come here to study, and some kind of mindset is there, and then so life became very sedentary. Then gave talks, this, that, all that. Then went through a health challenge also, came out of all that. Then understood that this is actually because the life has become sedentary. We should not be like this. So our mindset then is do exercise, play some games, then weight loss will happen, then you will be having stamina, flexibility, great. And so a lot of focus goes on cardio exercises, walking, running, swimming, all that. But strength training, I had no idea of that till COVID. COVID gave me enough time to study, understand, do some research. I said, this is the most important aspect और ये कोई हमको बताया भी नहीं आज तक. What is the value? Today there is much more awareness in people, at least here I see, but still in my family, in earlier relatives and all, still they don't know. And so the mindset will be कुछ खेल लो, कुछ चल लो, 10,000 steps कर लो, हो गया, you are a healthy person. No, that is not enough. And by the way, there is no research or data to prove that 10,000 steps is to be walked every day. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. किसी ने चालू कर दिया हवा में वो चल रहा है 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. हाँ, yeah. So as one ages, see, all these are physical external application of internal thought process. Tamo guna I should not encourage. If somebody looks at a person and says, अरे इतने उम्र में भी एज इनको एक्सरसाइज करना है, they still want to look young and fit, क्यों ये सब कर रहे हैं? Somebody may judge. Yes. अरे but that is their problem. I am doing it because the equipment has to be kept fit. Because if the equipment is fit, I will be able to sit and meditate longer. For me, that's the biggest point. Simple. If the body is fit, I can go beyond body consciousness. If the body is not fit, my full attention will be on the body. How will I rise beyond body consciousness? So as one ages, one should fight out that conditioning, do some amount of strength training, get out of this mindset that I know it all, learn. Today they are saying even learn a new language. One of the best ways to keep the brain engaged is learn a language. Otherwise this dementia and Alzheimer's and all that, when it starts, oh bapre, it is terrible. So learning process. Then one can anchor more in devotion, bhakti. Vairagya can be so much more that one can sit peacefully. Earlier in the youth, one is restless. But having seen the world enough, having traveled, having enjoyed so many things, gone through ups and downs, अब कितना और वही का वही करेंगे. So if one has understood, experienced many things, not that one can't, one can definitely travel, do whatever one wants. But when one is sitting quietly, is the mind still running? If it is running, That means I need more vairagya. So I should do satsang, reflect. What is it that is running behind and what does it want? Has it not enjoyed those things before in some different form? No, Swamiji, I've never been to Alaska cruise. I want to go on that. That's my bucket list one of the things, Happily go to Alaska cruise. But in meditation, don't think of Alaska cruise. That time you think of Bhagwan full time. At that time I'm sitting and manifesting Alaska cruise, then I'm not meditating. I can sit separately to manifest that and give energy to that. But anchoring in devotion, because that is the only permanent relationship that we have. So study, sadhana, and spend some time if required even in serving the society. Take up something nice, social service project, and I know so many of you must be part of certain NGOs, etc., and doing seva in your own ways. So that's how we spend the time in doing seva, in learning, in anchoring in bhakti, sharing this knowledge with more and more people, learning to be by oneself in solitude, enjoying one's company, doing strength training. So all this one can do. One graces age fully, and then surrender of the ego that we already saw, how ego must mellow down. 10 years ago, if something would disturb me so much more, today doesn't disturb me that much. If I have some strong attachments, that is a very important preparation to do in old age. What is that? I should learn to become more detached. Because the more attachment is there, more sorrow will happen. So that is the third question that you had. Now, how to be detached? So I have to understand very clearly that attachment brings sorrow. The higher the attachment, greater is my sorrow. Lesser the attachment, lesser is the sorrow. No attachment, no sorrow. Now when we say attachment, then we have wrong notions of attachment and we have wrong notions of detachment also. We think attachment is very natural. Swamiji, we are grahasthas. How can we be detached? We have family, we have children, we have spouse, we have relatives. If I become detached from them, then... So we have confused what? Love and attachment. The greater my attachment is, the lesser is my ability to love. Love and attachment cannot go together in that sense. There is a proportion, some places we see that there's some 20% love and 80% attachment. So in that way we say, okay, it goes together. But actually it cannot. Because in love, beloved is more important. In attachment, I am more important. My way, what they do for me and how they make me feel, and it's I which is important. So the more I am stuck with I, the more there will be sorrow only. What actually brings sorrow is not situation alone. Major part of sorrow is from my attachment. If I am attached to somebody or something and if that doesn't happen, then I am miserable. If I am not attached to it, no sorrow.
But in reality, actually, it's very difficult to separate love from attachment.
It is difficult, there is no doubt.
Because both things work together in the real world.
So in the real world, they appear to be working together, but they inhibit, the attachment inhibits our ability to love. I can't be detached and objective. When I'm attached, my mind gets clouded. So I can't do what I could have done if I was detached. And so again, it's a conditioning in the mind. Because detachment is equated to disinterest. So we think that love and attachment only will go together. Love and detachment cannot go together. But the fact is, the more detached I am, more accepting I am of the opposite person, more freedom and space I am able to give. So there will be more love then. In attachment, there is possessiveness, control, domination, expectation, insistence. It will be stifling actually. So if I understand that clearly, I will have a healthy balance of what I need to do, because love, Gurudev always said, you can give without loving, but you cannot love without giving. So in love, I will be active, I will be dynamic, I will do what needs to be done for the beloved. And then what is the detachment part? I do my best and leave the rest. At some point, I can give advice, and they have follow. If they follow, great. If they don't, it's up to them. I don't get disturbed because they didn't listen to me and my advice. That is a detachment. So I love, and yet I am detached. So I give advice, I still step back. So that healthy balance, love and detachment will bring. They are also happy, we are also happy. If this is understood clearly, then we will be able to happily practice love and detachment. So two things have to be done first. One is drop the wrong notions about attachment and love. And second, drop the wrong notions about detachment. Detachment is not equal to disinterest. Detachment is equal to love, is equal to acceptance, is equal to freedom, is equal to happiness. This equation we have to set in our mind. Detachment word looks very heavy duty and it has some negative connotation ki detach ho gaya. So better word is accept. Better word is freedom. Space. Mom, give me my space. Okay. Now spouses are having spaces between each other. Now they're having rooms also, different rooms for each other.
Now just coming to that.
Me time, yeah.
But why do we need me time is because I have to, what does this me time do? It gives me my ego coming back. Why do we require this?
See, so the attitude for me time is what will make all the difference. Me time is a certain time which I have to spend for myself, to work upon myself, for my growth. It may be physical exercise, it may be emotional, something that I love doing which makes me feel happy. It may be self-care, it may be a hobby, anything where certain focus comes back on me as an individuality, where I strengthen myself, I feel good about myself. Some people say me time in terms of ego, then that's a different thing. But otherwise, all of us need. Because if that does not happen, sometimes one will get burnt out. One is not replenishing oneself, which is what so many people they feel. Full day of mine goes in taking care of the family, of this. I'm a working professional, plus I have social obligations. Where is the time for myself? I don't get to do what I like to do or I want to do. Now that feeling will come. So then the me time is required. But if somebody keeps saying ki me time, me time, me time and escapes responsibility in the house, now that is not the purpose of that me time. In the 7 habits of highly effective people, if you read, it comes, public victories and private victories. So your public victories must have the foundation of private victory. Private victory means what? I must be able to overcome my weaknesses and I must be able to strengthen my strengths. So if I have anger issue, I have attachment, I have some, jealousy, delusion, all that, then I should be able to overcome those. The more I overcome those, I will achieve success in the world outside also, because the mind becomes free. But if I am not focusing on that, I just chase behind success outside. Public victories only I want. As a person, I am not improving. Then over a period of time, I won't be able to sustain that success. Plus, I will become more lonely because people will run away from me because I am not working on my negativities. I am not improving, becoming better as a person. So that's why it's always important to have a balance. So that way detachment comes when I am able to anchor within. Attachment is when I depend. So what is attachment? If you have to define attachment, what will you say?
Dependence on objects, emotions and things.
Correct. So dependence. There's one little more fine tuning has to happen. It's a dependence on objects, emotions, things, people. Correct.
For your happiness.
For your happiness. But what type of dependence? There are 2 types of dependencies.
Emotional.
So psychological, emotional dependence, where without this I am not happy, that's an equation we have created. That is psychological dependence. Gurudev used to say I plus I want is equal to Attachment. Where I want means a certain psychological dependence, that I want this for my happiness. Without this, I can't be happy. So I plus this particular iPhone is equal to happiness. I plus this particular sari is equal to happiness. I plus this foreign trip is equal to happiness. And now people are having one list like that. For marriage, when proposals are shared, will you take me for a Thailand trip or outside trip? This many India trip, this many outside trip, this much income you must have, this much, this much. क्या हो रहा है? They are matching emotions and tuning with each other, or they are putting on demand list. This is if you are able to do, then I am ready to. Now that psychological dependency, that only when all this happens, then I will be happy. You see that? If I see wanting any of this by itself, nothing wrong in it. But without that, I'm not happy. No, that's the psychological dependence. So now my happiness is depending on so many factors outside. Vedantic student says no. That equation is I plus I want is equal to attachment. I plus this object is equal to happiness is what I have created. Now you remove that object. I plus object is equal to happiness. If you remove the dependency on the object, then what will happen? I is equal to happiness. It's what Vedanta is saying. So, attachment definitely causes sorrow. And one thing that Mahabharata and Ramayana teach us very clearly is don't be attached, be detached. Look at every person in Mahabharata who suffered. They suffered because of their attachment. They fell because of their attachment. Bhishma was attached to his oath. Draupadi is attached to her beauty. Yudhishthira is attached to dharma. Dhritarashtra is attached to his son. Duryodhana is attached to power. Dronacharya attached to his son. One by one. Krishna is not attached to anything. Vidur is not attached to anything. Most happy. Vidur's wife not attached to anything. Very happy. Those who are attached, they will face sorrow. And this knowledge of detachment is given by Krishna Bhagavan to Arjuna in the battlefield. Because the whole fall of Arjuna happened because of attachment. He acquired all the skills, but he didn't focus on detachment. That's what is happening in the world today, or not? How much skills, all our children and young people, we push them behind skills, but the necessary grounding about detachment, attachment, clarity of the big picture of life, all that if it is not there, then one achieves things but then crashes. Today mental health challenges, one of the reasons is this, because understanding of detachment is not clear.
6-year-olds are depressed now.
Sukha, look at that.
Yeah, anxiety and depression has become a big thing with
But
even
none of the schools address it, so none of the parents are being, because the generation above them, like for my grandchildren, I'm saying, our children were not taught this.
Yeah.
So obviously they are not equipped, we were not taught this. So none of us are equipped to give it to this child. And maybe now because of the extracurricular, you cannot equip them only with emotional or ye dalna nahi hai, dal diya har aise shuru.
That is a challenge there. See, pressure is there from the society, but it is up to us how we handle that pressure. Because kitna curricular karenge, अच्छी बात है, expose them to different things, but give one priority to this, whether it is Balvihar class, culture class, whatever you say, anchor them within that spiritual knowledge. Because if that is not there, I may teach all the skills, but I am not equipping them to handle life. Skill to that child will learn on its own also. But this grounding has to happen. And elders also, we may not have been taught earlier, but then I can learn. Now so many of you are exposed to this knowledge. Share that and then learn. Let the next generation learn. Even if seeds are sown in their head, it is okay. Immediately if they don't follow, it is gone inside. It will germinate at some point in time. That has to happen. Because that detachment, if it is there, then life becomes very happy. Somewhere that wrong notion has come. So how to be detached? Focus on understanding of detachment properly. See the pain of attachment clearly. I always keep saying this. You must have heard even in earlier talks. Think about the pleasure of the pain and the pain of the pleasure. If I think of the pleasure of my pain, that attachment brings so much of pain. the pain of the pleasure. My attachment brings so much of pain to me. So if I keep sleeping in the morning, it is so pleasurable. I don't do exercise. If I think of the pain that it will cause later, and if I think of the pleasure that the pain I am going through will bring me, if I get up, do the exercise, may be difficult, I may not like it, I have to push myself out of sleep, but the pleasure that that pain will bring is so much more. Simple, that is called Sukha Dukha Vivek. But if that we don't do, then attachment will spoil us, will pull us down. Forget human being. Even a virus comes into the computer through attachment only. So even a computer is not safe, even a phone is not safe from attachment. So what to talk about human beings then? So we have to remove that. And again, the best way to attach, better way to detach is attach to the higher. Focus on bhakti, focus on seva, focus on jnana. If I attach to the higher, I will detach from the lower. If we just say, don't be attached, we can't. And if we just keep saying, be detached, again we don't know. So anchoring in something higher, we will detach. So what is that higher purpose in my life? That I have to discover. Second question was about fear. So first and third we have answered. Second is about fear. So fear is a natural mechanism in all of us. In any human being, in any being in fact, fear will be natural. And now with all the knowledge which we have, we know that there is a fight or flight or freeze. Three responses. Fight, flight or freeze. If I feel I am up to the challenge, I will fight it out. If I feel no, I can't, I may try to run away. Or sometimes I get benumbed, frozen. Don't know what to do. So, first acronym of fear. So we have different acronyms of fear to understand this beautifully. First acronym of fear is regular response to fear is what? FEAR. Forget everything and run. Fear when it comes, I want to escape. I don't know. Why some of you don't take a class? Fear. No. What if they ask me a question and I don't know the answer? What will happen? I can maximum say I don't know, that's all, no? No, my ignorance will be revealed. What if they think I am a fool? Let them think, that is their perception. How does it matter? But fear will be there. If I can't take it properly, if I forget, if I don't have thought process logically, kaise hoga? So some fear keeps coming. So no, can't do. After fear of death, which is the biggest fear, is fear of public speaking.
Yes. Every time I threaten her, if you don't do this, I want to send you for Gita chanting competition. Every year, there's an ongoing thing between us.
This fear means it's like your attachment to the result of what you are going to say.
Correct. There is attachment, then only fear will come. Otherwise, the fear will not come. My attachment could be to what I am going to say. My attachment could be to what people perceive me as. So many things. Mainly the fear is because of attachment. In the Gita, the expression we use for it is Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. If you want to go beyond anger and fear, what you have to go beyond? The source of both these. And what is that? Attachment. Raga. Vita Raga means one who has gone beyond attachment. If you go beyond attachment, what will happen? You will become Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. You will become free from Bhaya, fear and Krodha. How is attachment cause of fear?
Because you're attached to the result of the whatever. You can't go on stage and say, what will other people think of me? What will they laugh? What if they laugh at me? So you're dependent on attached to the result.
So I am attached to that result, and what is the fear? Is that attachment brings that fear that if I don't get it, then how will I be perceived by people?
It's the ego.
It's my ego. Finally, all fear comes to the image factor, ego. How will I be perceived? Suppose somebody thinks of me as a fool. If you ask me from Vedantic standpoint, does it how does it actually matter? If they think of me as wise or they think of me as a fool, does it really matter from the deeper Vedantic standpoint? Because what I think of myself itself does not matter. Because this is an illusion. From deepest standpoint I am talking right now. All these thoughts, they are just identified because of this body. Otherwise I have no such thinking. When I am in deep sleep, no such thoughts are there. I am very happy. So when we study Vedanta, we come to realize that this is the mithya, this ego is a fictitious entity. So we are trying to get rid of that fictitious entity in our head, and by thinking, by clarity, that this is anyway an illusory thing, it is not real. In that now, how does it matter what other person is thinking of this? Honestly, from Vedanta standpoint, it should not even matter. But it matters. Why? Because I may study Vedanta, but my identity is still I am this Mr. So and so. Swamiji, वो सब class में ठीक है, I am Brahman, but outside I am not Brahman. In class, yes, I am Brahman. Outside class, I am Jiva only. ये जन्म में तो साक्षात्कार नहीं होगा स्वामी जी, अगले जन्म में देखेंगे. Now that mindset is what sometimes we carry, no? That's a inside class one thing, outside class one thing. So that Vedanta is not like that actually. Vedanta is to tell us that you are that infinite truth at all times. Temporarily you are playing the role. But we are doing ulta. Temporarily we are playing the role of a seeker and permanently we are the jiva. That's the turn, 360 turn that has to happen, no, in us. That I am a seeker who is here playing different roles. I am not father, mother, son, this, that, all times. That is only a temporary identity. My main identity is I am Brahman. If I know that, why get attached to anything? We get attached to something because we feel that there is happiness in that. Which is why study of Vedanta makes us so clear that happiness is not there out there. Swamiji, happiness is not out there, but Rasgulla mein to hai. एक सिर्फ एक ये रसगुल्ला को छोड़ के happiness is not there in the world. But this. So that's how attachment prevents me from even applying my knowledge. So fear is born from that attachment. Whatever I'm attached to, I am scared of losing that. See, Vedanta does not say that don't enjoy the rasgulla. Even if you say happiness is not in the rasgulla, does that thinking stop you from enjoying the rasgulla? No. In fact, you'll enjoy it more. Why? Because you're not dependent on it. Otherwise, when I'm dependent, I eat the rasgulla. For 2 seconds, I'm enjoying the rasgulla, but then the mind has gone somewhere else. So I'm not enjoying that anymore.
The sugar, insulin.
It has gone to anything, sugar, insulin, this, that, or it may go to some other comparison. ये कैलाश पर्वत का रसगुल्ला इतना ठीक नहीं था, हल्दीराम का बहुत बढ़िया था. And the mind has gone now. Somewhere it is going. It is not here. Because it is attached to particular taste, it is attached to particular thing. If I am detached, I will say I am here and now, enjoy the rasgulla. Not that I can't find any fault with it. If there is something wrong, it is okay. But I am not attached to it. रसगुल्ला प्रॉमिस किया था स्वामी जी ने, लेकिन कुछ नहीं मिला उसके बाद. So disappointed I am. If it comes, great. If it doesn't come, doesn't matter. There is no such psychological insistence. Then there is no fear. No, what will the fear be for? If it comes, great. If it doesn't come, Ram Ram. And do you know that is what people are practicing today? Manu Bakar, she won the bronze for us. What did she say after that? You heard her clip? She said on the Gita, right? She said, I was not worried about the outcome. Gita has taught me that focus on the process. Pressure is very high, na? Olympics mein she is performing and she has had a bad performance in Tokyo and now second time here. Pressure is very high, but what keeps her anchored? Detachment. Otherwise, anxiety and fear will take over. The same emotion, when one person has managed it well, has achieved a certain result. You know, Neeraj Chopra was very anxious to go beyond 90 meters. And that anxiety prevented him from going beyond 90. So he did well, no doubt, but that anxiety made him his performance little lesser, so he got the silver in Olympics. Then he went to the diamond competition, something, whatever that was. There, the person who won told him actually, you relax and you will throw better. And after that, he gave his best, some 89.4 or 6 something. That was his best throw of the whole season, even better than Olympics. Why? Because you relax. The moment one detaches, one relaxes, all fear, everything gone, anxiety gone. So the cause of fear is my attachment.
So why is it that some people don't seem to be fearful? Maybe fearful, but I'm saying.
So for some people, some things don't cause fear, something else causes fear. Each one has some different reason of fear. Yeah, except a realized person, everybody has some or the other fear. Sometimes the fear is not apparently manifest in their actions daily, but if you observe carefully, one will know, oh, this is the attachment. This is the fear here. It may be fear of loss, fear of losing something. It may be fear of body, fear of illness. So many different types of fears. Fear of animals. Different types of fear. So each one has. So I have to overcome fear. How will I overcome fear? First thing Vedanta tells us is second acronym of fear. Face everything and rise. Forget everything and run. First acronym. Second acronym, face everything and rise. If I run away from fear, psychology of fear is it will grow. If I face it, I can overcome it. In Hindi slang, if we say, darne ka par karne ka. You be scared of it, but you still do it. If you are scared of water and you don't feel like jumping into it and swimming, you are there with a coach, you learn, you face it. Don't say, no, I am scared of swimming and drowning, I can never swim. Face it, then only it will go. Public speaking, face it, do it, practice, then only it will come out. Otherwise it will only grow. There is no other way to get out of it. Mind will make it bigger and bigger and bigger. So if I don't face it, the mind will make fear bigger. If I make myself bigger, the fear will become small. So that's the second aspect. So Vedantic student will not run away from fear. Vedantic student will face it. When I face it, then I have to find my attachment in it. I am attached to something that I am scared of losing. Get out of that psychologically, I will overcome that fear. And a lot of times, fear is only a negative projection. It is not real. When I don't know something, the mechanism of fear, I will just say and come back to you. Mechanism of fear is, I don't know, what if this happens? That what if not, that creates all the fear. It's an imaginary thing. I don't know what is in the darkness, in the dark room. What if there is a cockroach? What if there is a ghost? What if there is a thief? Now the mind projects. My child has not returned. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. Phone is switched off. Friends are not reachable. What if something untoward has happened? So what if some accident has happened? Now the world is no more any more safe. All that, So the mind will build fear. And not that in such situations fear should never arise. Vedanta is not saying fear should never arise in your mind. It may arise, but how do I face it? At that point in time, what is the positive possibility? I should think of that first, rather than thinking straight away of the negative possibility. Because if I think of the positive possibilities, I will find some solutions. Okay, I can do this, I can do that, and let me figure out, find what. Otherwise, the mind will jump into anxiety because of negative imagination. So what do they say? Think of the worst that can happen and be prepared to face it. And what is the worst that can happen? If this happens, what will I do? Again, that will come back to how I can deal with it. I'm not allowing the anxiety to build. So I need to find that. And so the third acronym of fear is false emotion appears real. A lot of times it is a false emotion that appears real. It is not there. You put on the light, you will see in the room what is there in the room. If you don't put on the light, you can sit and imagine what all is there inside and then run away from it. So many times it is false emotion that appears real. And lastly, I need to gain knowledge because ignorance is the cause. No, I don't know, so I can't. I imagine what if this happens, what if that happens, and then the more negative imagination happens, then I can't handle it. That's the mechanism of fear. So I need to gain knowledge. So if I don't know swimming, first I should gain the knowledge of swimming, then jump into the water with the help of a coach, learn swimming, practice it, overcome that fear. Don't jump into it without getting the knowledge. When Swamiji said, face the fear, मैं कूद गया जाके. अब पता नहीं क्या करना है. स्वामी जी मेरी तो लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग सिचुएशन हो गई, आपने बोला जंप, तो आई वेंट एंड जंप. No, get the knowledge. Help somebody, take somebody's help, face it, overcome it. Don't say driving, I don't know, I have fear, I am just taking and chalu kar diya maine. Gain the knowledge properly, practice it. So that is how fear is overcome. Find out the attachments to it, practice, stop the negative brooding. And one very important thing about fear is, if I do what I need to do, and if I don't do what I should not do, I will not have fear. Simple thing it is. So much anxiety Duryodhan had in his mind because he has done adharma, what he is not supposed to do. He should have just given half the kingdom or even 5 villages. Whole war would not have happened. No? We don't do our homework, then we get scared. At a certain time we don't do our work at the particular timeline, and then the project has to be submitted, then one is psyched up. Students don't study on time, then they burn midnight oil, and then they say, exam, tension, stress, all that. If I do my duty, chances are I can overcome fear quite a bit. So these are all different ways to understand fear, overcome fear. आप कुछ पूछ रहे थे?
When you were telling about when we see a projected result, and it was a very fancy result you were seeing, but like a fear of a dog. अब वो काटेगा अगर supposing, तो 14 सुई लेगी. ये practical. I'm not going into rabies की मरीज को or not है. तो वो 14 सुई का fear तो रहता ही.
So that's called biological fear. So fear is biological, psychological. So that fear will be there. So I have to be cautious. Now please remember, fearlessness does not mean that being absolutely heedless, careless, stupid. बैल मुझे मार नहीं करना है कि चलो I will face the dog. काट के दिखा. वो सब ऐसा कुछ नहीं करना है हमको कि now I am overcoming my fear of dogs. We don't have to do that at all. Caution will be there. ना अगर कोई tiger आएगा तो fear will arise so that I protect myself. We can't say I am facing the tiger. देखते हैं. अरे tiger comes, you run, Baba. There's a biological fear. Use the discretion and run. There is no problem with that. But the point is what? Many times that situation may not happen. So it's so if we know that there's some dog which is infected, or the dog who is not trained, etc. Now there's a caution one must have. But sometimes in the house, you go to somebody's house, they have a dog. Oh, dog. Arey, you don't even know what type of a dog it is. There are so many sattvic dogs who don't bark even if a thief comes. You are imagining in your head, dog matlab terrible. Now there's a branding has happened. Now dog is equal to fear. Now that is what? अब कितने dogs आपको मिले भी होंगे लाइफ में? सब कुत्तों ने काटा है क्या? नहीं ना. But फिर भी हर बार वो fear आएगा. Because 14 injections. So how do I deal with it? I say, I am going to be cautious, careful, no doubt. But अगर कुत्ते को काटना होगा, मेरे प्रारब्ध में होगा, तो काटेगा, तो अब तब देखा जाएगा 14. अब टेक्नोलॉजी साइंस कितनी बढ़ रही है कि 14 के बदले 2, 3 में भी हो सकता है. वो देखेंगे उस समय के बाद उस समय. Cross the bridge when it comes. We don't need to do anything as of now. So we don't allow the anxiety to build. Most important, as I told, get the knowledge. Get the knowledge of how to be friendly with a dog. I am not joking. This is a very valid fear. The biggest threat I had in my Narmada Parikrama, or any Parikrama Vasi has, is from the dogs. Not from anybody else. Because we have a stick with which we walk. That's a Narmada Ji's symbol. Now the dog feels provoked and threatened looking at the stick. So the fellow comes to bark. at any point in the day, early morning also, afternoon also, evening also. And if that, if there are kitten, what do you call it, puppies, then so you had it. That mother will be very protective. You may be far somewhere, not looking at her also. Somewhere she'll run and come and bark at you.
But the dog's reaction to the stick is also coming from fear. Because the dog is fearful, because quite often dogs are...
They have been beaten. Exactly, that's why.
That is also...
For them also it is fear. And so they are a condition. And so they get provoked. So I saw on Instagram so many videos. And I learned how to make the dog friendly. You have to learn their language. You learn their language, and then you are able to, pet them slowly here and all that, and dire and on the head and this and that, and like that you do few things. Slowly the dog understands you are not a threat. Because how much can you run? I tried everything. Finally I said Gyan is the solution. Understand how the dog will feel secure. Exactly, that is called the serva. That is their natural predator-prey instinct. If you run, it will chase you.
Even a tiger actually in responses you have to
Tiger you can't trust.
No tiger, any animal you see.
No, any animal that way you can't trust in that sense. But you stay still at some point.
They also feel threatened.
Some dogs, they understand when you are standing still, they'll come near you, smell and go away. They don't have a problem. But some dogs, even if you stand still like that, because you have a stick, they are... So once or twice I tried to put down the stick also. But bend down to put the stick, the dog feels more threatened. 1,000 types of, solutions I tried to find, experiment. Then finally I understood that you have to only understand how the dog feels comfortable around you, what kind of sounds you can make, what kind of body language you can have. And you don't exhibit fear. They sense that very easily. And if they feel you are scared, then they feel more provoked, because out of fear you will harm them. वो उनका बहुत strong instinct होता है. So then you have to be... So I anchored in this thing saying कि भगवान अब काटना होगा तो काटेगा. भगवान ही कुत्ता बन के आया, ये भैरव बाबा है. I am not joking. There was one sadhu who was walking with me. For him, any animal he sees, he remembers Bhagwan only. So kutta he sees, he doesn't treat it as kutta. He always says Bhairav Baba ki jai. Yeah, Go Mata, he will say Go Mata ki jai. Some birds he will see, then he will remember some Devi. Because his vision is like that only. It's all Bhagwan's different forms they are. Happily he is going. So anchoring in knowledge, detachment, faith, whatever happens, I will deal with it. Bhagwan is with me, I will handle it. All these are the solutions which Vedanta gives us to handle fear. And then practice. Do the duty. 5-point formula to handle fear. Gain the knowledge, have faith, do the, get detachment, practice, and one more, do the duty. If I do this much, out of fear. So that's where we will stop for today. Now, we have an interesting 2 programs coming up. One is Hanuman Chalisa ke Rahasya. How many of you chant Hanuman Chalisa? Many of you chant. Hanuman Chalisa is a great source of strength. Hanuman is a great symbol of knowledge, power, strength, devotion, service, everything. And Hanuman Chalisa, many people chant, but the deeper meanings of Hanuman Chalisa, many people don't know. Like in Tulsidas ji says in Hanuman Chalisa, Baranau Raghubara Bimala Jasu Jodayaku Halachari. Baranau Raghubar, he says. Raghubar means what? Bhagwan Ram. But he is describing the glory of Hanuman ji. But he says, Baranau Raghubara Bimala. I am going to describe the fame and glory of Bhagwan Ram. Why does he say Ram? He should say Hanuman, no there. सोचो. Answer मैं नहीं दूंगा अभी. इसमें आओ. To know the answer. But Ram Bhakt, so he can say Ram Bhakt. Why did he say Raghuvar? The best amongst the Raghus, he says. Like that, there are many things. Sankate Hanuman Chudave, Manakrama Vachana, Dhyan Jo Lave. Beautiful chaupai, so many. So 3 days in Hindi we are going to chant. Hanuman Chalisa. We are going to chant every day before the program together, Samohik chanting. Then we will explore the meanings of this in Hindi, and then we will conclude every day with a simple spiritual practice. So 24th to 26th September in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, all of you please come and bring minimum 5 more people. That is my response. That is your responsibility. I am asking you that please bring that. Please bring 5 people. That is your offering to Gurudev, to the Rishi Parampara. For 10 years you have been studying, you have benefited from this. And don't say कि ये 5 लोग हम आ गए साथ में. Each of you bring 5 new people. बाहर के लोग या अपने फैमिली के लोग, फ्रेंड्स, उनको लेके आइए. Hanuman Chalisa is not very deep, difficult subject of Vedanta, subtle. It's very simple, nice, relatable. आप लोग आइए, सबको लेके आइए. We will do satsang nicely.
Swamiji, 24 to 26 will be the same thing or?
No, each day different thing. Each day different chaupais we will explore. Each day different spiritual practice also. Now, one thing I wanted to understand, you are very happy with the class, I know that, and you are enjoying and you are studying well. But many of you I don't see in the programs. Any specific reason you want to share? Some of you I see in the program, some of you I don't see.
But there's so many people generally at the Prempuri and all, who generally come. We love it.
Okay. This SIP talks, how many of you heard SIP talks? I went to Amma's house for Bhiksha, that I remember. At her home we had a Bhiksha, she had come. SIP we did in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in April, spirituality in practice. Yeah. No, you may be traveling, I understand. I wanted to just explore that if there is some specific reason or... So we need to improve our, not only attendance, means our organizing in Chinmaya Mission. So if there is a specific time period which is more suitable, some time period not suitable, all that, So if we understand that, then accordingly we can even figure out.
But Swamiji, why do you always have to talk from 7 to 8:30 like that?
For walking people.
Because working people can't reach. Na? 6 o'clock if we do, many people working can't reach.
Asking about registration.
हाँ रजिस्टर करेंगे तो अच्छा होगा. फ्री रजिस्ट्रेशन है, इसमें लिंक दिया है, रजिस्टर कर लो. Yeah, in the chat the WhatsApp link also comes. Yeah, so what happens is sometimes we send messages. ये WhatsApp group बनेगा, मैसेज भेजेंगे कुछ जैसे हनुमान जी की आरती है वो सब हम ग्रुप पे भेजते हैं, so that in the program you are able to follow.
Emails also come for registration.
Yeah.
If you are registered.
So do participate, and the purpose of such programs is actually to introduce new people, because 10 साल से आप लोग हैं, there is good knowledge that you have gone into the depth of many scriptures, but many people are still unaware of this. So yajnas are a reach out program, and so if each member is able to help to reach out, that's how we will be able to, the best publicity is only word of mouth and by sharing, and people come. So that's in September, and this is in Hindi. And this is the first yajna in Hindi in South Bombay that we are doing. So long we have been doing in English only. And the next one in October is in Gujarati. That is on Madhurashtakam. 3 evenings from 21st to 23rd October. In Prempuri Ashram this will be. Again, this is from 6 to 7:30. Every day we have bhajans by a different group. Sing half an hour bhajans, then do some satsang, and end it with an arti, Q&A and arti. So beautifully, and one day there is a dance performance also that is going to happen. So the idea is Bhagavan Krishna, his Madhurashtakam is a beautiful composition written by Vallabhacharya ji. And Krishna Bhagavan's life is full of so much of joy, happiness, knowledge. So we will learn about Bhagavan Krishna and that way of living happily, that in spite of all difficulties, challenges, how did he live so happily? So we will explore that, and that will be in Gujarati. So any of you who are able to come, please come. If you know people who are Gujarati, who can understand Gujarati. If you understand Gujarati, Hindi, you can understand Gujarati. Only you have to add che at the end of it. So don't worry कि हमको गुजराती नहीं आती. You will understand. आवड़े छे. Very simple.
And the Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi.
Mahalakshmi.
मंदिर जाना.
Oh yes, we have a temple in Mahalakshmi, in Navi Mumbai Kharghar. There's a Mahalakshmi Mandir. So in Navratri, 9 days we have a nice celebration there, and this is the 14th year of that temple, and we have Abhishek etc. happening on the Dashera day. But through 9 days, every day different alankar and artis and programs happen. So on one of the days there is a bus which is going from here, or even one can book any other transport and one will go there. So South Mumbai, the Devi groups are coming together, and whoever wants to go, they can go nicely, have darshan of Mother Mahalakshmi, do some sadhana there, do some chanting, spend some time, have satsang there, and then come back. So if you all want to go, you please tell her.
Specific date.
I think some date, I don't remember the date. Yeah, she will post it.
It's in the number.
So you can go.
The
And
whole South Bombay we are planning to go
Take a
together.
together, go. So you will meet some other Devi group ladies also, interact with them nicely, go and come back. It's a day program.
So, Swami, I have a question. We were talking about children and how they. So, when a child is born, right, according to what we have learned, he comes with his
Karmas,
karmas
yeah.
and all. We say that you should not really teach them, right? They've come as a plain slate. But we still, as the, like right from so many years, the temperament is that as parents, as teachers, you go through Gurukul, you go through this, so it's teaching only. You're teaching them something.
See,
And that's
the exposure we have to give them. In your question only there is a contradiction, no? You are saying they came with their own prarabdha, at the same time you are saying there is a clean slate. So there is no clean slate actually. There is a prarabdha with which the child has come, and the child will exhaust that, there is no doubt. But the prarabdha of the child is not independent. No? Prarabdha of the child is intertwined with you, with the other people, with the teachers, with the co-students, with all of them. So that is also part of the child's prarabdha only.
so basically.
And you expose. After that, what anyway the child will learn will be prarabdha of the child. No? How much? Every child doesn't grasp everything in the same way in the schools. So each child will grasp according to their karma only. And that we then have to accept. Where we try to help them to improve something, all that effort can be done. But finally, if the child is not able to improve or shows good signs in some other fields where the child is excelling, now that is a prarabdha. That we have to accept. But without exposing them, we will not know only. Now will the child understand. The more the child gets exposed to it, the more the child will also be able to understand clearly. So that has to happen.
Because it's always there in my head. I've always asked this to Aditya also, but it still doesn't get clear. Because I feel that after teaching, and then again you have to undo what. Like
See, that will continuously happen. Yes, when we become aware that wrong things we are teaching, that we should stop. So that the child doesn't have to undo. Certain attitudes, certain information which we have understood in our life experiences and through the time that this is not appropriate, then we don't teach that. So that the child doesn't undo those. But this is a continuous process. What today's knowledge we have, based on that we teach. Eventually in some time that may change because of circumstances changing, so this may become outdated and that may become more relevant. So that will continuously happen where we have to keep learning and unlearning. With the best of our intentions, we teach what is good and what is the truth. Baki rest of it will evolve in time. There can never be a situation where everything I teach will be only 100% true and nothing I have to unlearn. वो कभी होने वाला ही नहीं. Okay, thank you everyone. It was nice to have this interaction with all of you. I need to, yes.
Thank you,
Please.
Swamiji, for being here with us today. Thank you, Swamiji, for being here with us today, and thank you for sharing your insights and wisdom. These classes overall have been priceless for us. They have taught us that looking within is of much more value than looking outwards. In our discussions, we have also focused on applying Gita wisdom in our daily lives. The idea of AG raised to be dropping your ego with a heart full of gratitude you brought up in today's class really struck a chord. I now feel like old age could be one of the best periods of our life. May we overcome our dependency and become fearless and more equanimous and detached. We look forward to continuing on this journey of learning and self-discovery. Thank you.
Thank you. We will conclude with the prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hare Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hare Om.